The sun barely broke through the thick, rust-colored clouds of Kepler-9. Dust swirled across the surface of the colony, making every step feel heavy. Humans had been exiled from the stars they once ruled, scattered across strange worlds and abandoned systems. Now they struggled to survive on harsh planets where nothing came easy. Crops grew poorly, water had to be purified constantly, and the alien patrols, merciless, precise, and ever watchful, made every day dangerous. On the outskirts of Colony Kepler-9, Captain Elias Ward tightened his coat against the bitter wind. He was tall, with sharp eyes that had seen more battles than anyone wanted to remember. Once he had flown among the best pilots in the galaxy. Now he led scavenger missions searching for relics of human civilization that could make life easier, or even give humans a fighting chance again. "Elias," called a voice behind him. It was Mara, a young engineer with a quick mind and a stubborn streak. She held a scanner, its lights flickering as it picked up faint energy readings. The sensor just picked up something strange near the old mining tunnels. "It's powerful. Too powerful to be natural," Elias frowned. He had learned not to get excited easily. Humans had survived wars, exiles, and alien oppression, but hope was dangerous. "Show me," he said, striding toward her. The wind whipped their faces as they reached the scanner's projection. A map of the tunnels lit up in pale blue lines. A strange signal pulsed from deep inside the network, steady and strong. "It could be anything," Elias said cautiously. "A power core left from the old colonies. Or something worse," Mara shook her head. "No, I've checked the energy signature. This isn't just power, it's intelligent design. Whoever made this..." "It's human," Elias froze. "Human?" For decades, humans had been hunted, scattered, and thought weak. Stories of old human technology and mighty battleships had become legends, told only to inspire children in the darkest hours. If this signal was human, it could change everything. That night, the colony gathered around a small hollow screen in the central square. Children leaned on their parents' shoulders, listening to stories of the past. Humans once ruled the stars, feared by countless alien civilizations. They built ships that could travel across galaxies, weapons that could defend entire worlds, and machines that could think almost like humans themselves. The stories were old, but the eyes of the children glimmered with hope, even if they didn't fully understand what it meant to be human. Elias walked through the crowd, observing quietly. He didn't need stories. He remembered. He remembered the pride, the victories, and the losses. Humanity had been strong, brilliant, and unyielding, but it had also been careless. That carelessness had led to war, defeat, and exile. And now, humans were scattered, struggling to survive on planets that tested their limits every day. Back in the tunnels, Elias and Mara led a small team to investigate the source of the strange signal. The walls were jagged, carved decades ago for mining purposes and covered in a layer of dust that had settled for years. Their footsteps echoed, and every sound felt amplified. "Keep your eyes open," Elias said. "If this is human, it could be dangerous, or it could be exactly what we need." After hours of careful exploration, they reached a hidden chamber. The air inside smelled faintly of oil and old metal. And there it was, a massive structure covered in dust and grime, hidden for decades. It was enormous, far larger than any human ship Elias had seen in the past. Its design was sleek but powerful, built not only for speed but for endurance. Lines of lights long dormant ran along the hull, and at its center a strange core pulsed with faint blue energy. Mara gasped. "It's incredible, this ship. It's a battleship, and it's human-made." Elias walked closer, running his hand along the hull. Memories of his youth flooded back. The first time he had seen a human battleship in flight, the sound of its engines, the pride of a human fleet flying in perfect formation. His fingers traced the markings on the hull, symbols of human engineering, creativity, and resilience. "This changes everything," he whispered. But even as they marveled, danger was near. The Jern, a coalition of alien races that had driven humanity from the stars, had patrols in the sector. They were ruthless, capable of detecting even the faintest energy signature. Elias knew that if they discovered this battleship, humans would not only lose it, they might lose the colony as well. "Elias, we have to be careful," Mara said. "If the Jern find this, it's over." "I know," he replied. We protect it at all costs. This could be the key to our survival, to proving that humans are not weak. The team worked through the night, cleaning the ship and examining the controls. Though it had been dormant for decades, the systems responded to their touch. A holographic interface flickered to life, revealing star maps, historical logs, and the core of the ship's AI. This AI, Mara murmured. It contains records, strategies, plans. This isn't just a ship, it's a library of human ingenuity. Elias nodded, a determined fire lighting his eyes. Then we use it. We rebuild and we remind the galaxy that humanity is not defeated. We've survived worse than exile. Word of the discovery spread quickly among the human colonies. Small groups began to gather, sending messages of support, offering supplies, and sharing information. For the first time in decades, humans felt hope. Not the faint, fragile hope of survival, but a burning hope that they could rise again, reclaim their place in the stars, and challenge the Zern who had written them off as weak. But the aliens were not blind. From orbit, a Zern scout fleet detected unusual energy readings near Kepler 9. Their sensors had not been triggered by anything human for decades. Now, the pulsing blue signature of the battleship drew their attention. Commanders convened, their many voices a chorus of concern and disbelief. "They have technology we thought lost," a Zern officer said. "We underestimated humans. We must investigate and destroy immediately." Elias and his team had no time to celebrate. They prepared defenses around the hidden chamber, improvising barricades and traps from old mining equipment. Every human capable of fighting trained quickly, motivated by a mixture of fear and determination. Humanity had been down for decades, but it still had fire in its soul. That night, Elias stood on a cliff overlooking the colony. The wind howled around him, carrying the smell of dust and faint ozone from the ship's core. Stars shimmered above, distant and cold, yet they felt closer than ever. Humanity's exile had been long, harsh, and unforgiving. But now, with one battleship and a spark of human ingenuity, the scales were beginning to tip. Elias clenched his fists. "We may be scattered, we may be hunted, but we are still human. And humans do not give up." Mara joined him, her eyes reflecting the faint blue light from the hidden chamber. "Do you really think we can do it? Really fight them?" Elias smiled, a slow, confident smile. "We don't just fight, we survive. And when humans survive, we win. The galaxy will remember us again." As the first patrol drones of the Zern approached Kepler 9, the human colony braced itself. It was no longer just survival. It was the beginning of a revolution, sparked by one ship, one team, and the unyielding spirit of humanity. For the exiled humans of Kepler 9, hope was no longer a dream. It was real, tangible, and ready to ignite the stars once more. Humanity's exile had ended the moment one battleship appeared, and the galaxy would never forget it. The hidden chamber beneath Kepler 9 hummed with quiet energy. Dust particles floated in the pale light of the battleship's controls, and the air smelled of oil and machinery long unused. Captain Elias Ward ran his hands along the smooth, cold hull of the massive ship. Its size was staggering. Long, sleek, and stronger than any vessel Elias had flown in his past life among the stars. It was not just a ship. It was a symbol. Mara, the young engineer, tapped furiously on the holographic interface. These systems, they're intact, almost untouched. The AI core is fully operational. This ship, it remembers. It knows how humans fought before exile. Elias raised an eyebrow. "It remembers?" Mara nodded. "Look at this." She brought up a series of holograms showing battle formations, tactical maneuvers, and star maps. Each sequence was labeled with human fleet names, victories, and even detailed lessons from lost commanders. "It's a library, a teacher, and a weapon." Elias's eyes gleamed. "Then we learn. We prepare. We survive." The team spent hours inspecting the ship. The controls were complex but responsive, designed for humans who valued creativity and adaptability over rigid procedures. There were hidden compartments with tools, emergency supplies, and even preserved weapon systems that could rival anything the Zern had in the nearby sectors. The battleship had been built for humans, fast, smart, and able to change tactics in the middle of combat. "Captain," said Jonah, a veteran pilot who had once flown alongside Elias, "do you really think we can get it flying?" After all this time, Elias smiled faintly. "If humans survived exile, we can do anything. And this ship is part of us. The first test of the battleship systems began at dawn. The colony watched in hushed anticipation as the massive vessel slowly powered up. Its engines glowed with a soft blue light, and the hum of energy resonated through the tunnels. Elias and his team felt the vibration beneath their feet, a reminder that human ingenuity still had life, even after decades of exile. Mara monitored the AI core. It's communicating. It's asking for calibration. I think it's learning us as much as we're learning it. Elias nodded. Treat it like a partner, not a machine. That's how humans always fought best, with unity and creativity. As the engines roared to life, a holographic projection appeared above the control deck. The AI's voice, calm and precise, echoed in the chamber. Humans. I've been dormant for decades. My systems are fully operational. I can provide tactical guidance, star maps, and strategic simulations. You must decide, will you survive or will you reclaim your place among the stars? Elias's hand rested on the console. We reclaim. We survive, we fight, we are human. The battleship responded with a soft pulse, almost like approval. It was a strange feeling, commanding a machine that seemed to understand pride, determination, and courage. The first trial flight was risky. The tunnels were narrow and the ship had never moved in decades. Any mistake could destroy it, or worse, reveal the human presence to the Zhurn. Elias climbed into the pilot's seat, Jonah beside him, and Mara managing the systems from a nearby console. Engines at full power? Elias asked. Mara nodded. Steady. I've checked everything. We're ready. With a deep breath, Elias activated the engines. The battleship shuddered, then lifted, floating gracefully despite its size. Light streamed through the tunnel openings, reflecting off the hull like a promise of hope. Smooth, Jonah said, awe in his voice. It moves like it's alive. As the ship cleared the tunnels, the open skies of Kepler 9 greeted them. Dust storms swirled below, but the battleship soared above them effortlessly. Elias performed simple maneuvers, feeling the responsiveness of the controls. The ship twisted, turned, and accelerated as if anticipating his every thought. This is incredible, Mara whispered. It's faster, smarter, and stronger than any ship the Zhurn could expect. But their celebration was brief. A small Zhurn patrol ship appeared on the edge of the colony's atmosphere. Its sensors had detected the energy spike from the battleship. The alien ship, sleek and intimidating, moved swiftly toward the colony, unaware that humans had found their lost strength. Zhurn patrol, Elias muttered. They've noticed us, Jonah grinned, tension in his voice. Time for our first real test, then? Elias nodded. Not just a test. A warning. Humanity is not finished. The battleship moved with precision, dodging the alien ship's scanners and weapons with maneuvers that would have seemed impossible for its size. The AI suggested strategic angles, exploiting weaknesses in the patrol's design that only humans could notice. Fire the energy pulse, the AI recommended. Target the central engine. Minimal damage to surroundings. Elias hesitated. We don't destroy unless necessary. Just disable. The pulse struck, and the Zhurn patrol ship shuddered violently, its engines temporarily disabled. The alien vessel veered off, retreating to report the anomaly. Mara's hands shook slightly as she monitored the results. They won't forget this. But neither will we. The first flight had proven something essential. Humans were still clever, adaptable, and capable of fighting back, even with just one battleship. Word of the victory spread quickly through the human colonies. Messages of encouragement, supplies, and recruits arrived from other exiles who had thought all hope lost. Elias stood on the observation deck looking at the stars. We start small, he said. But every victory counts. Every move reminds the galaxy that humans are still here. Over the next few days, the team tested the ship further. It adapted to different conditions, storms, low gravity, even the hazardous asteroid belts nearby. Each test built confidence. The battleship's AI suggested strategies, but Elias and his team added their own creativity, improvising new maneuvers that the machine had never seen. It became clear that this ship was more than a tool. It was a partner in humanity's resurgence. Meanwhile, the Zhurn were sending more scouts. Each time, humans used intelligence, unpredictability, and daring tactics to disable alien ships without massive destruction. Small victories built morale. The exiled humans began to believe something they had long forgotten, that they could be more than survivors. They could be warriors again. But the greatest challenge was yet to come. The AI projected a message from deep space, showing a massive Zern fleet moving toward Kepler-9. Hundreds of ships, well-armed and coordinated, were headed to investigate the sudden human activity. The colonies were not ready to face such power, not yet. Elias clenched his fists. We have one battleship, and it's more than enough. We have human ingenuity, courage, and determination. They might outnumber us, but they cannot outthink us. Mara, staring at the projections, added, and we have something they don't. Unpredictability, creativity, humanity itself. Elias smiled. Exactly. Let's show them what humans are made of. That night, the crew of the battleship worked tirelessly. They studied the AI's historical simulations, refined tactics, and trained for the encounters ahead. The exiled humans of Kepler-9 were no longer passive, hiding from a galaxy that had forgotten them. They were ready to reclaim their place, one daring maneuver at a time. As the first stars of night reflected off the battleship's hull, Elias whispered, almost to himself, "The exile ends here. Humanity's return begins now." Above the colony, the wind carried the faint hum of the battleship's engines, a sound that would soon become a warning to the galaxy. Humans were rising again. The sky over Kepler-9 was still dark when the first signals arrived from distant colonies. Small fleets, long scattered and isolated, had detected the energy signature of the battleship. They sent encrypted messages of support, offering pilots, engineers, and supplies. Humanity, though divided, was beginning to unite once more. Captain Elias Ward stood on the observation deck, watching the messages pour in. Each ping brought new hope, a reminder that humans had never truly lost their ingenuity or courage. "Mara," he said, turning to the young engineer, "the galaxy may have forgotten us, but we are not gone. Not yet. We will show them who humans are." Mara nodded, her eyes shining. "Every ship that responds, every colony that joins, it makes us stronger, and every alien that underestimates us will regret it." The first challenge came sooner than expected. A Zern patrol fleet, larger than any scouting ship, approached Kepler-9. They were faster, better armed, and ready to strike. The colonies were not yet organized enough for a full defense, but the battleship's AI suggested a daring plan: hit and disable a few key ships to scatter the patrol, then retreat before the main fleet could respond. Elias gathered his small team in the control room. "Listen carefully," he said. "We have one battleship, and we will use it wisely. Our goal is not to destroy them all. We do not have the numbers. Our goal is to survive, to show them humans cannot be controlled, and to inspire the colonies. We strike smart, we strike fast, and we retreat before they can corner us." Jonah, his co-pilot, cracked a small smile. "Sounds like old times," Elias nodded. "Exactly. Old times, new humans. Let's remind the galaxy what we are capable of." The battleship surged into the skies above Kepler-9. Its engines glowed, casting a blue light over the dusty surface. The Zern ships detected it immediately and opened fire. Plasma bolts streaked through the air, but the battleship moved with unmatched precision. It twisted, dived, and climbed, guided by the AI's calculations and the instincts of its human pilots. "Target the central engines of the leading patrol ships," the AI advised. "Avoid unnecessary damage to civilian areas." Elias fired a pulse weapon that disabled the lead ship's engines without harming the colony below. The remaining patrol ships adjusted, but the battleship's maneuvers were unpredictable, faster than any alien calculations could predict. The patrol faltered, their formation breaking. "Keep moving," Elias commanded. "They cannot predict what humans will do next." With careful coordination, the battleship disabled 2 more patrol ships. The aliens were forced to retreat, confused and shaken. The victory was small, but its effect was massive. Across the exiled colonies, humans received the reports, and hope began to spread like wildfire. From Colony Vega 12, a message arrived. "We saw what you did. We are ready to join. Humanity rises again." Elias allowed himself a small smile. "One victory at a time. One human at a time. This is how we rebuild." Over the following weeks, more colonies responded. Humans sent ships, weapons, and engineers to Kepler-9. Together, they formed a network of scattered fleets. It was far from a large armada, but it was enough to start small-scale coordinated attacks. Each mission taught humans something new: how to move faster than alien calculations, how to adapt tactics mid-battle, and how to turn weaknesses into strengths. Mara worked day and night on the battleship systems, upgrading shields, improving weapons, and integrating strategies from the AI. "It's learning from us and we're learning from it," she said. "Together we're faster, smarter, and stronger." The Zhurn noticed the changes immediately. Their patrols became more cautious, their strikes less confident. Reports reached the human colonies. "The humans are unpredictable. They strike where we least expect." This unpredictability became humans' greatest advantage. While the aliens relied on rigid formations and predictable maneuvers, humans adapted constantly. They improvised weapons from scavenged materials, used terrain to their advantage, and relied on creativity and courage. One mission became legendary in the colonies. Elias led a squadron of human ships through a dense asteroid belt to ambush a Zhurn supply convoy. The Zhurn had assumed humans would avoid such dangerous areas, but humans used the asteroids as cover, striking with precision and disappearing before reinforcements arrived. They captured supplies, freed imprisoned humans from slave labor ships, and returned without a single human casualty. The colonies erupted in excitement. For decades, humans had been told they were weak, incapable, and defeated. Now stories of daring pilots, clever engineers, and the battleship that could think alongside its crew spread from planet to planet. Children listened with wide eyes, dreaming of one day joining the fight. Adults who had once given up hope felt the fire of human pride reignite. Elias watched the reports come in, feeling something he hadn't felt in years: true hope. "We are not just surviving," he said. "We are thriving. We are humans, and humans do not back down." However, the rise was not without challenges. The Zhurn were relentless, and their fleets were growing suspicious. Patrols became larger and ambushes more frequent. Humans learned quickly that courage alone was not enough. They had to combine courage with intelligence, creativity, and unity. Mara and the team worked tirelessly on upgrades. The battleship was equipped with adaptive shields, stealth capabilities, and long-range sensors that allowed humans to plan ambushes before the Zhurn even realized humans were nearby. The AI integrated human creativity into its calculations, learning to predict alien behavior, while allowing humans to improvise in real time. During a calm moment, Elias spoke with Jonah on the observation deck. "You know," he said, "I never thought I'd see the day humans would rise like this again. We've been down for decades, but we're coming back faster than anyone imagined." Jonah smiled. "It's in our nature. Humans survive. Humans fight. Humans adapt. And now we're remembering who we are." Elias nodded. "Exactly. And the galaxy will remember us too. The exiled humans are no longer weak. We are rising." The battleship became a symbol not just of strength but of inspiration. Wherever it appeared, humans felt hope and aliens felt fear. Small colonies began to coordinate, sharing intelligence, supplies, and reinforcements. Humans began reclaiming strategic points on planets and in orbit. Small victories that would lay the foundation for larger campaigns. As weeks turned into months, the scattered fleets of humanity became more organized. Humans who had once been frightened, weak, and divided were now united by a single purpose: reclaim their place in the stars. Each victory, no matter how small, reminded humans of their ingenuity, courage, and determination. Elias stood on the bridge one evening, watching the stars through the battle-proof glass. Mara joined him, holding a tablet filled with reports from the colonies. "They're responding faster than we expected," she said. "Humanity is waking up." Elias smiled faintly. "And we've only just begun. One battleship, one team, one spark of courage. That's all it takes to remind the galaxy. Humans are not weak, and humans never give up." Above Kepler 9, the battleship's engines glowed softly in the night, a beacon of hope and a warning to anyone who doubted humanity. The exile was ending, and humanity was rising, not just to survive but to reclaim its place in the galaxy. The first wave of coordinated attacks against the Zhurn fleet was planned. It would be dangerous. It would require every ounce of skill, courage, and creativity humans possessed. But the battleship, the AI, and the human crews were ready. And the galaxy would soon learn that underestimating humans was the greatest mistake an alien could ever make. The stars above Kepler 9 shone cold and distant, but below them tension crackled in the air. Humanity's scattered fleets had grown, yet they remained vastly outnumbered. The Zhurn, alerted to human activity, had dispatched a massive armada to crush the rising human forces once and for all. Hundreds of alien ships, sleek and deadly, filled the void of space, their sensors sweeping for the human battleship that had become a symbol of hope and fear. Captain Elias Ward stood on the bridge of the battleship, his hands gripping the console. His crew, a mix of veterans, engineers, and new recruits, were tense but determined. This was the moment humans had trained for, the test that would prove whether their ingenuity and courage could overcome the odds. "Mara, status report," Elias called. "All systems are optimal," Mara replied, eyes flicking over holographic readouts. "Shields at full, weapons ready, engines calibrated. We can take on multiple targets at once if we coordinate properly." Elias nodded. "Good. Everyone remember, we are outnumbered, yes. But we are unpredictable. We adapt, we fight smart. Every alien in that fleet will be surprised by what humans can do." Jonah, Elias's co-pilot, tapped a finger on the navigation console. "They're entering our sector now. The lead ships are massive, capital ships. We need to divide and conquer." The battleship surged forward, engines glowing like a pulse of defiance against the void. The Zern armada advanced with confidence, their sensors locked on the colony. But humans had learned well. Rigid calculations could not predict creativity. The first strike came from the human side, not with full force, but with clever precision. Using the dense asteroid field surrounding the system, small human vessels darted between rocks, using shadows to hide their movements. The battleship led the ambush, striking the alien vanguard with energy pulses that disabled engines and disrupted communication lines. "Direct hit on the lead cruiser," Mara exclaimed. "They're falling into chaos." Elias smiled. "Perfect. Keep them off balance. Hit and fade. Remember, humans survive by thinking differently." The Zern struggled to adapt. Their formations, designed for predictable engagements, began to crumble. Humans moved with speed and intelligence, exploiting gaps, using terrain, and attacking from unexpected angles. Every strike was calculated to minimize risk while maximizing impact. In the chaos, small human units managed to disable multiple alien ships without losing a single human life. Engineers on board the battleship used adaptive weapon systems to create temporary energy shields, blocking Zern fire while the ships maneuvered into advantageous positions. "This is unbelievable," Jonah said, eyes wide. "They can't believe what's happening." Elias nodded. "And they will learn. Humans are not predictable. Humans are clever, adaptable, and fearless. That is why we survive." As the battle intensified, the AI within the battleship began to offer advanced strategies. "Captain, recommend targeting the Zern flagship. Disabling their command system will create maximum confusion in the fleet. Suggest combined energy pulse and guided projectiles." Elias considered the risk. The flagship was massive and heavily armed. A direct attack could destroy the battleship. But this was the moment humans were born for, improvising, daring, and striking where the enemy did not expect. "Do it," Elias said, "but prepare a retreat path. We go in, strike, and get out before they can recover." The battleship led the charge, weaving through the alien fleet with unmatched precision. Its engines flared as it fired energy pulses that disabled shields and disrupted targeting systems. Alien capital ships faltered, and smaller fighters panicked, retreating in confusion. Mara coordinated the auxiliary vessels, directing them to exploit gaps and protect the colony below. Humans, though outnumbered, worked as one unit, combining skill, ingenuity, and courage. Every move was unpredictable, yet perfectly calculated. Elias and Jonah maneuvered the battleship closer to the flagship, dodging heavy fire while lining up the decisive strike. "Steady, steady," Elias muttered. "Now." A synchronized attack struck the Zern flagship's central engine. The massive ship shuddered violently, systems failing one after another. Sparks flew, lights flickered, and alarms blared. The flagship, which had been the heart of the Zern fleet, began to drift uncontrollably. "Direct hit," Mara shouted. "They're going down." The remaining Zern ships faltered, their formation collapsing as they attempted to retreat. Humans pursued only selectively, knowing the goal was to survive and inspire, not to destroy everything recklessly. Elias took a deep breath. Watching the flagship explode in a brilliant display of fire and energy, the shockwave rippled through the surrounding space, scattering smaller alien ships. Victory, against all odds, belonged to humanity. For the first time in decades, humans cheered freely across the colonies. The scattered fleets were no longer just survivors. They were warriors united under the banner of ingenuity, courage, and determination. Mara wiped sweat from her brow. We did it. We actually did it. Elias nodded, though his eyes were already scanning for further threats. This is only the beginning. The galaxy now knows that humans are back. They will come for us, but we will be ready. The aftermath of the battle revealed the true power of human adaptability. The Zern, who had relied on numbers and predictability, were forced to retreat and regroup. They had never encountered a species that could turn the odds against them so effectively. Humans had fought not with raw force alone, but with creativity, strategy, and courage. Back on the observation deck, Elias and Mara reviewed the battle data. We've proven something essential today, Elias said. Humans survive not because we are the strongest, but because we think, adapt, and never give up. That is our strength. The colony celebrated cautiously, aware that the Zern would return, but the morale boost was immeasurable. Stories of human bravery and skill spread like wildfire, inspiring even the most isolated exiles to contribute in any way they could. Pilots, engineers, and civilians alike. Across the system, small signs of rebuilding appeared. Colonies coordinated supply routes, shared intelligence, and prepared for future encounters. Humanity was no longer scattered and defeated. They had something far more powerful: unity, ingenuity, and the unyielding spirit that had once ruled the stars. The battleship, now a symbol of human resurgence, prepared for the next mission. Elias stood on the bridge looking out at the stars. They may come back, he said quietly. The Zern will not forgive us. But every challenge, every fight makes us stronger. Humanity will never be defeated again. Mara joined him, her eyes reflecting the soft glow of the engines. And we have the battleship, our history, and our courage. That is more than any enemy can handle. Elias nodded. Exactly. One battleship, one team, one spark of courage. That is enough to remind the galaxy that humans are not weak. In the distance, beyond the glowing debris of the destroyed flagship, more Zern scouts were detected, but this time humans did not fear them. They were ready. They had survived exile, discovered their lost strength, and proven that intelligence, courage, and creativity could overcome overwhelming odds. As the night stretched across Kepler 9, the battleship's engines hummed steadily, a soft pulse in the darkness. Humans across the colonies looked up at the stars, inspired by the courage and determination of those who had fought and won. The exile was ending. Humanity had risen, proving to themselves and to the galaxy that they were more than survivors. They were innovators, warriors, and a force that could never be ignored. And as the battleship prepared for the next challenge, Elias whispered to himself, "The galaxy will remember us now. Humanity is back." The galaxy had changed. The scattered exiled humans, once broken and hopeless, had become a rising force inspired by one battleship and a spark of courage that refused to die. News of the decisive victory against the Zern flagship had spread to every human colony, igniting hope and determination. Captain Elias Ward stood on the bridge of the battleship, watching incoming transmissions from every corner of human space. Colonies sent ships, supplies, and recruits. Small fleets were being organized, and long-lost systems reached out, eager to join the resurgence. Humanity, once fragmented and defeated, was now uniting. Mara, always at his side, pointed to a display of colony networks. "Look at this. Every signal is a promise. Every fleet joining us strengthens our position. We are no longer just survivors, Elias. We are a civilization rising again." Elias nodded. "We've survived exile. Now it's time to reclaim our place among the stars, not just for ourselves, but for every human who believed they were forgotten." Their first mission was to reclaim Colony Vega 12, a strategically important world that had suffered under Zern occupation. The alien garrison was strong, confident that humans were still weak and scattered, but they had underestimated what one battleship, guided by human creativity and determination, could achieve. The operation began with stealth. Human ships, small and fast, moved through asteroid belts, avoiding Zern patrols. The battleship led the fleet, using advanced stealth systems and adaptive tactics to approach the colony without alerting the garrison. "Stealth mode active," Mara reported. "They won't see us until it's too late." Elias smiled. "Perfect. Let's remind them humans are not weak. At the edge of the colony's orbit, humans launched their first strike, not with overwhelming firepower, but with precision and intelligence. They targeted supply depots and communication arrays, crippling the alien garrison's ability to coordinate. Within hours, Zern ships found themselves unable to respond effectively to the coordinated human assault. Direct hit on the supply depot, Jonah reported. The colony defenses are confused. They're not sure where to respond first. Elias nodded. Exactly. Confusion is power. Humans win when they think differently. Ground teams, supported by orbital drones and landing crafts, swiftly reclaimed key installations. Human engineers restored power, water, and communications, ensuring the colony could support itself once more. Civilians emerged from hiding, cheering as human flags rose across the cities. For the first time in decades, humans felt free, but the Zern were not done. News of the human victories reached their command, and a larger fleet was dispatched to counterattack. Hundreds of alien ships moved toward Vega 12, confident that they could crush the resurgent humans before they gained strength. Elias prepared the defenses. They think they can overwhelm us with numbers. Let them come. We'll show them that humans survive through intelligence, courage, and unity. The battleship coordinated with human fleets and orbital defenses. Every movement was calculated, every tactic unpredictable. The Zern fleet entered Vega 12's orbit, expecting an easy conquest. But humans had turned the planet into a trap. Asteroid belts, debris fields, and cleverly positioned defensive grids made every approach dangerous. They're falling right into it, Mara said, excitement in her voice. They don't know what's coming. Elias's team struck with precision, disabling key ships and scattering smaller units. The battleship moved like a predator, exploiting weaknesses in alien formations while avoiding direct confrontation with the largest vessels. Humans fought not with overwhelming force, but with intelligence, creativity, and adaptability, the very traits that had once made them rulers of the galaxy. As the battle reached its peak, Elias focused on the enemy flagship. Using the same tactics that had destroyed the Zern flagship before, the battleship executed a daring maneuver. Energy pulses struck the engine core, while guided projectiles disabled defensive systems. Sparks flew, alarms blared, and the massive ship drifted, crippled. The remaining alien ships panicked, retreating to avoid total destruction. Victory confirmed, Mara said, eyes wide. Vega 12 is ours again. Elias allowed himself a rare moment of relief. This is how humans reclaim their place. Not just by fighting, but by thinking, adapting, and never giving up. Word of the victory spread across human colonies. Ships from distant systems began converging, drawn by hope and a shared desire to join the resurgence. Colonies that had been silent for decades now sent ships, engineers, and supplies. Humanity was no longer scattered. It was a network, united and unstoppable. In the weeks that followed, humans continued to reclaim occupied worlds. Each victory was carefully planned, combining strategy, improvisation, and courage. Colonists who had once hidden or fled now contributed, offering local knowledge, resources, and manpower. Engineers worked alongside pilots, civilians learned to operate weapons and ships, and the AI of the battleship integrated new tactics faster than any alien could anticipate. Elias walked through a reclaimed colony, watching humans rebuild. Children played among restored buildings, civilians returned to farms, and engineers repaired old infrastructure. Humans were reclaiming more than planets. They were reclaiming pride, confidence, and purpose. Mara approached him, holding a tablet filled with incoming signals. They're sending messages to other human systems. Everywhere humans were exiled, colonies are waking up. They're ready to fight, to survive, and to join us. Elias smiled. This is more than we imagined. Humanity has been given a second chance, and we're not wasting it. Every human, every colony, every ship counts. Together, we are unstoppable. The battleship, now fully upgraded and integrated with the AI, became a symbol of human resilience. Wherever it appeared, humans rallied. Where aliens once assumed weakness, they now faced unpredictability, intelligence, and courage. Humans had learned that raw power alone was not enough. Creativity and determination were the greatest weapons of all. From orbit, Elias watched the galaxy respond. Fleets coordinated, colonies sent resources, and humans across systems shared intelligence. The scattered exiles were now a unified civilization, stronger and smarter than ever before. One final transmission arrived from a distant human system. "We have seen your victories. Humanity is back. We will stand with you. We will fight together." Elias turned to Mara, eyes shining. "Do you see it? Humanity is no longer exiled. We are united. We are strong. We are free," Mara nodded. "And the galaxy will remember us this time. They will never forget what humans can do." Elias looked out at the stars, thinking of all the exiled humans who had suffered, struggled, and hoped in secret. One battleship, one spark of courage. That is all it took to remind the galaxy that humans are not weak. Now every system, every colony, every human knows it. We are back, and we will never be forgotten again. The battleship lifted from the colony's orbit, engines glowing like a pulse of determination. Across the galaxy, humans watched and cheered. The message was clear. Humanity had returned, and any who doubted their strength would soon learn that creativity, courage, and unity made them unstoppable. As the fleets prepared for the next stage of the resurgence, Elias whispered quietly to the AI, "Prepare the ships. Humanity has reclaimed its place. The galaxy will remember us, and we will continue to rise." The AI pulsed almost like a heartbeat. "Understood. Humanity will continue. Survival, adaptation, victory, these are your nature." Elias smiled. "Exactly. And now every human knows it. Our exile is over. Our future begins." Below on the reclaimed colonies, humans celebrated. Children waved flags, engineers repaired ships, and pilots trained for the next mission. Humanity had survived exile, discovered its lost strength, and reclaimed its dignity. The scattered exiles were now a civilization united, a force that no enemy could ignore. The battleship moved silently through space, a symbol, a weapon, and a promise. The galaxy had learned a powerful lesson. Underestimate humans at your peril. And for the first time in generations, humans truly believed in themselves. Exile was over. Humanity was back, and the stars were theirs once again.